John McCabe. Welcome to the show.
You're live.
Hey, welcome to the John A. McCabe Show, where it's all about accelerating your authority in your business or field of expertise. John does that by helping entrepreneurs, business owners, authors, experts, and speakers get seen, get heard, get noticed on any device, anywhere, anytime, within as little as 15 hours of your effort, also known as the Authority Acceleration Blueprint. WTF, only 15 hours of my time and I'm going to be seen, heard, and noticed everywhere? What's he got? Some kind of magic formula? That's a question I actually want to know. As you can tell, I'm definitely not John McCabe. I've hijacked his show. The season finale, because let's face it, it could use a little rock and roll, baby. I'm Keith Shannon, podcast host of Incident Authority Expert Podcast, band member, former band member of Motley Crue Band, founder of DirectCarpet.ca, and a big fan of all that John has done in the past few months. I'm here to help celebrate the season finale with John and take over his hosting duties and put him on the hot seat to get some questions answered that and I'm sure many of you want to know. For those of you who have been joining the show for the first time, welcome. And where the hell have you been in the last 3 months? You've got some serious binge watching ahead of you. Binge watching ahead of you. Almost 70 hours of content over the past 3 months. Actually, this is episode 67. In the past 100 days, I wonder if there's a significance to that number. Maybe I'll ask him during the show. Anyways, it's been quite a journey for John over the past 100 days. You can definitely see the difference in the quality of the show, structure, and professionalism during that time. John is starting to attract more thought leaders and influencers in a variety of fields. So many of John's guests have commented on how impressed they are with the extent he goes to prepare for a show, from scripting the entire show every day, sending show flow questions, scripts, timing, etc. to guests in advance, to creating graphics to promote the show on several platforms. John mentioned to me the show is an easy part of what he has planned. The real work comes in the next 3 months, and I'm not sure what he's talking about. I figured it was time to rest, relax, kick back, drink some beer, and now the show is on break, but apparently not. As I'm well aware that true entrepreneurs operate. During the show, I'm going to find out what John has planned for the next 3 months, what's in store for the next year, and so much more. So when I come back, I'm going to be joined by my guest today, John McCabe, creator and the host of the John A. McCabe Show.
Hi there, this is Everett O'Keefe, international #1 best-selling author, and then the launcher and publisher of a bunch of other books. But I am excited today because John McCabe has wrapped up the first half of his first season of his daily video podcast. This is huge. I just can't believe it. Now, when John first announced that he was going to run a daily video podcast, I thought, there is no way this is going to work. He's going to last a week or two, burn out, fizzle, fade away. Instead, he has just powered through, attracting really phenomenal speakers, of which I was the least, and a great audience. I'm so impressed with what John has done. So, John, I just wanted to say, hats off to you. If I had one of these helmets on, I would take it off for you. But I'm just so impressed with what you've done. Congratulations. And I am so excited to see what the second half of this season holds. Fantastic. God bless you, brother.
Welcome back. This is Keith Shannon, hijacking the season finale of the John A. McCabe Show. No, I'm not John McCabe, but I'm here to rock and roll this thing. Just rip a bunch of stuff. We can rip it. John and I met. Let's talk about where John and I met. We met in San Diego. We both have a business coach, Mike Koenigs and Ed Rush. We were down in San Diego, and I think we just hit it off. John's a real estate guy, and I have real estate myself, and we just started talking and hit it off. I think we probably, I remember us having a couple beers together, and that's probably,
Yeah, definitely.
John likes to talk a little bit more when he has a couple of drinks. So, Johnny baby, what's up?
Not much, man. Thank you very much for agreeing to be the host and let me relax a little bit today and not do as much talking.
Yeah, well, I'm pretty good at talking sometimes, but thank you for having me on the show. I mean, I've been watching for a while now. I mean, it's awesome. It's a little bit of pressure to run a show like this. I know why you need some time off.
Yeah, it's daunting 5 days a week, that's for sure. I mean, I thought it was just going to be a 1 hour a day thing. You know, I'll whip these out 1 hour a day, 5 days a week. But from the time I get up in the morning till 2 my time, it's just nothing but the show, getting ready, preparing, scripting. You know, when guests cancel last minute, I have to actually put something together for the show, so it can be a challenge at times.
Yeah, that's pretty heavy, like going live. It's not like the podcast show that I have where, you know, you record it, you edit it, you mix it, you put it together, and then you put it out on a timeline. When this is live, this is live. So, you know,
when you mess it up or whatever, you just keep going.
You're like,
there's not much,
you
not
know,
much you can do. There's no edits, no second
there's
takes.
nothing. That's why I'm like, mom, help.
Yeah.
You know, that's where you start to see the genius of our business coach, Ed Rush and Mike Caniggs, when they go on stage and they flow for 45 minutes. Yeah, they have a teleprompter down below, but Mike's really seamless. So is Ed. I mean, since I've been doing live this week, I've really noticed that how good those guys really are.
Yeah, and being able to especially seed a lot of things that you want to talk about at the end, or you want people to take some action. It's really about seeding all the way through the process, and actually consciously thinking of that is not easy. Like consciously dropping in very specific phrases, very specific statements that are really going to subconsciously affect the viewer, the listener, so that when you do ask them to take some sort of action, they actually end up doing it.
Yeah, lots of practice. Because John McCabe is on break. I'm surprised I don't see a beer in his hand, you know?
I thought about it.
I thought it was beer drinking Friday, like anything goes, you know. Hey, you don't
normally it is, but I got a phone call. There's a couple that want to meet right after the show. They're facing foreclosure, so they want some advice.
Oh, nice. Yeah, well, sober advice is sober.
Yes. It's better if I'm giving the advice without having beer on my breath.
All right. So first thing I want to do before we get too far in the interview is a speed round of questions. I know you've watched the show before, so I know you're ready for this. It's the speed round of 10 questions, so viewers get to know you a little bit better, John. Just give the first thing that comes to your mind in a few words or a sentence. If nothing you needed to study for, so don't worry about this, John. And because you always ask other people these questions, this should be a breeze for you. You probably have this memorized in your own little thing.
I do.
All right.
Unless you change the questions.
Unless I change the questions, I could go to the incident authority questions. I might, you never know. I might throw it in there. So as always, I would like everyone at home to play along as well. So please answer with John by entering your answers and your questions in the comment field below for each answer. So number 1, John, name the book that impacted your life the most.
There's actually 2 of them, Rich Dad, Poor Dad by Kiyosaki, and The Laws of Success by Napoleon Hill.
Nice. I love Napoleon Hill. Great. Think and Grow Rich and stuff like that. All right, number 2. When you were a young boy or girl, who was your celebrity crush?
Well, I was only ever a young boy.
This is true.
At least
these days.
That's right. These days you never know.
That's right.
So actually, it would have been every single girl that had a poster with in a bikini. So there was not one. It was all of them. Every single one of them.
Yeah.
Every single one of them that was on a poster in a bikini. That was my crush.
Cool. Awesome. So, what is the book, podcast, show that you are into right now?
Actually, my own. I spend so much time doing it that. But anybody else's, the one by Perpetual Traffic by Digital Marketer, as well as Tim Ferriss.
Nice. John, do you currently work with any coaches? I guess this is a little bit, we've kind of given that one away already.
Ed, Mike, and I have a real estate coach as well.
Yeah. What's your favorite movie of all time, John?
There's a couple of them. I really like The Shawshank Redemption and Rudy. Are both great great movies.
John, are you currently involved in a mastermind? Question mark. How many?
No, actually, none this season, but I've been talking to a couple of my previous mastermind members, and we're talking about doing a monthly or weekly or monthly virtual mastermind.
Is that going to be business or real estate or both?
It's entrepreneur business.
Nice, nice. I want to be involved in that.
All right.
Nice.
Good to know.
All right. Name the person, dead or alive, who you would most like to meet with and have dinner.
That is, for me, that's a no-brainer. It's Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson.
Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. Yeah. He's a sexy beast, isn't he? Favorite type of vacation, beach or adventure tour?
Definitely beach, sitting at the palapa or the bar at the beach is where I spend most of my time, drinking back my cervezas.
Listen, let's just cut this live shit and let's go. No, I'm just kidding. I love it. All right, best business advice you've ever received, John?
Make more offers.
Nice. That's really good, actually. Number 10, water, beer or wine, pizza, wings, or salad?
Definitely beer and pizza.
Yeah, I know. It goes together. Makes you swell up, but yeah, it's pretty good. Ding, 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 ding. Send the love, send the love.
What's Mike Koenig's doing going live at the exact same time I'm live?
No.
What's up with that?
Well, we'll draw him back over here. Mike's probably going to start talking about us. What are those guys doing live? Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, just a quick peek to see if anyone played along and give some shout outs. Please type in any questions you want me to ask John, and I will see if we can get them at the end of the show. If not, we will answer them on Facebook comments. Also, please like, love, and share this video with everyone on your Facebook feed, as well as any groups and business pages you manage.
And we just want to welcome Shirley Ann McCabe to the show, Barbara McLean, as well as Brad Witherspoon was joining us a little bit earlier.
Hi, Brad.
So you're the host. Don't be looking at me to start talking.
I'm reading John's script today, and we're at the yellow part where I didn't know. I thought yellow was where we go off.
Well, you're supposed to say, we'll be back in just a few minutes after we hear from a couple previous guests.
Oh, okay. So teach me, baby. Teach me. Ready? Here we go.
So
we'll be right back. We're going to hear a couple of John's previous guests. He's got a whole big roll, so we're going to watch that now, and then we'll see you in a few.
Hey, Pierre-Paul Turgeon, Canada's leading expert when it comes to multifamily investing, former CMHC insider, multifamily underwriter at CMHC. Listen, John McCabe, just wanted to say thank you and congratulations for the first half season of your John McCabe show. It was an honor for me to be on it. You've had fantastic guests over the show, very interesting topics, a lot of value for a lot of people watching your show. So listen, sir, well done again for the John McCabe show, and maybe we'll see you in the next season. Cheers.
Hi John, congratulations for the success of your show, and thank you for coaching me on the call, and I'm gonna work on it, and I'm working on it. Anyway, I'm looking for next season, next episode, which is I guess it's next year, and I hope to talk to you again. Thank you.
John's been gracious enough to have me as the host. Now, I'm hosting for the first time with, I had to bring an old computer and set this up and do this thing. And me and John got together around 2 o'clock and went over a little stuff. So, it's a lot of work. I like what he's doing. So, John, can we start? Do you want me to ask you questions about business, or can we start talking about how you actually do this thing? What do you want to do, brother?
Your host, oh my God.
Oh, it's my show, so I can sing I can start singing like the new Green Day show.
You can.
I'm still breathing.
You can do whatever you want. I'm trying to relax today.
I'm still breathing on my own.
There are a couple of comments, the Facebook comments.
I don't see them. I'm gonna have to go over to your page. You want to read them, or
okay? I'll read them. It's from Barbara McLean. Barbara wants to know, or says, "Hey, two of my favorite Canadian brothers. John, what was the turning point for you in your business?" And then says, "Sorry, I won't see you next week. I have to catch up another time." So the turning point actually came this summer when I made the conscious decision that actually this is part of the talk I'm going to give next week. So since Brenda or Barbara, since you can't make it, I'll give you a little insight. I made the conscious decision that I wanted to not just follow people like Mike and Ed and Gary Vaynerchuk and Frank Kearns and people like that. I actually wanted to be my own version of that. So in order for me to be my own version of that, I needed to get seen, heard, noticed anywhere, anytime on any device, and I needed people to start following me. So I had done that very quickly in my real estate investing business through putting out a lot of content and distributing that content. And then over the last 5 years, like really studying people, what Mike has been doing, studying Gary Vaynerchuk, what he's been doing, I actually managed to put together and actually create a mathematical formula that will work and get anybody positioned in that space. So earlier this summer, it's like I'm tired of, just not being. Well, one, I'm transitioning from real estate back into being a business coach or a business consultant, because I was doing that prior to real estate, did real estate for a while, and I'm still in real estate, but I actually love being a business, helping people grow their businesses. So it's like, okay, and it's a bigger pond than the small niche I'm in as the real estate investor that focuses on rent to own in Canada. That's a small niche, and it's a small pond, so I want to get into a bigger pond with a lot of bigger players. So how am I going to get recognized in that big pond? Well, I need to do what I did to get recognized in the small pond, but I have to grow it exponentially. And since Facebook was giving a lot of attention to Facebook Live, I said, well, let's do that. So Facebook Live is actually part of my mathematical formula, but it's only the tip of the iceberg. There's a lot more that actually has to be done besides just producing these 1 hour videos a day. So it was earlier this summer when I made the conscious decision that I'm going to put myself out there, and I'm still in the real estate field, but I'm going to put myself out there in the bigger pond and want to be a business advisor for a lot of people, entrepreneurs, businesses, coaches, authors, experts, and speakers, to accelerate their authority in 100 days. So that I made that conscious decision this summer, and within the past 100 days, this show has actually enabled me to get into a lot of different markets. A lot of people that have never ever heard of me have actually seen me or now know of me, which was the whole purpose. So it's going to be continuing to distribute, repurpose this content, distribute it, and engage with an audience over the next 3 months on all the content that I've just created in the last 3 months. So that's what I'm going to be doing for the next 3 months, is just distributing and engaging so much of this content, repurposing it, and just so that you can't turn on any social platform without actually seeing me. That's the goal. So hopefully I answered that, Barbara, but basically it was this summer when I made that conscious decision to go into a bigger pond, and then in order to get recognized, my goal is to be recognized within 1 year. So I need to do it before September 1 of next year to be recognized along the same lines as a lot of the people in the space that I'm actually going into.
Sound like a great answer to me, Johnny baby. I see that we have another question. It's from Keith Shannon. Hey, John, hi, it's Keith. Are we live?
We're still live, man. We're
Hi!
still live.
Yeah, baby, yeah. That was from me. See that? That was cool.
I saw that.
That was hot.
So can you see the stuff now?
I can. I got it worked out while you were answering questions.
Okay.
Guys, I finally got it worked out. So basically, the reason for me hijacking the show and hosting this show today is we're going to steal all of John's secrets on how he actually does this show. I don't really know. So I'm kind of winging it. I'm learning a little as I go. That's pretty hard to do when you do it live, because live's tough, number one. I mean, live. Mom, help. So, I think we're going to go another round here, and John's going to play a couple of videos from past guests. Is that right, John?
Yeah, I get one queued up right now, so we can transition to that, and we'll be back in approximately a minute.
Sounds good.
Oh, hey, John. It's Andy Lockwood here, coming live from where I watch most of your shows. And I just wanted to congratulate you on a great season. And did a great job, especially all the shows that I was in. And of course, I'm your #1 fan. And I'm looking forward to another exciting season, probably from the same location. So, great job. Talk to you soon, buddy.
Hey John, it's Alan Brown from Crusher TV. I want to congratulate you on the first half of season 1 of the show. I love the show. I love that you're putting it out live like almost every day. It's amazing. It's a real feat that you're accomplishing, and the range of guests and the range of topics is fantastic, and I learned something from every show. I had a lot of fun doing it, and I love the format and the questions that you ask. Because they get at things that most interviewers don't get at. So continued success. I look forward to seeing more of the show next year.
The John A. McCabe Show. If you're French, I meant nothing by it. I love you all. Mwah. Johnny Boyby. All right. So now you guys know I have hijacked this show. Let's talk to John a little bit about what I do best. And you know what? I do better by asking nosy than reading off the script. So we're in segment 2 here. Let's talk. You know what I want to talk to John about? John has got this great show that we all watch. We see it on a daily basis. He's doing Facebook Live, which is huge. But this platform right now is hot. I mean, you know, it's Periscope 2 years ago. It's hot right now. You know, I think it's great. I've been doing it myself for the last week with my wife, with our company. We've been doing great views, and you know, live's not easy. It's not easy to speak live. It's not easy to flow. It's not easy to talk. It's better if you talk about something you know. Talk about something you know, it's a little easier. John talks about what he knows. John spends a lot of time on scripts and stuff like that too. So when I was doing my podcast, I would stay up all night to write a script to have someone on the show. I did 72 episodes of Instant Authority Expert, and I did some rock stars and stuff like that. And you have to go in and do your research on who they are. Go to their webpage, see what their credentials are, read over it, get it. You might have to prefab a script to go along with it. So there is a lot of work. Now, I'm sure now that John's gone live with this on Facebook, the workload must be intense. I mean, I've been doing it live this week with my wife. We've been just taking little bits of content and putting it out and talking about what we know. But even that, you know, lots of well, my name is Shannon, and you know, those uhs are horrible. We have to figure out to get rid of those uhs, right, John?
Yeah.
Squeeze the uhs. So I guess my first question to John here is, you guys can't see it, but I've got a split screen here. I've got John up on Zoom over here, which we are talking through instead of Skype, right, John? We're talking through Zoom. It's just
Zoom, yeah.
Better internet connection.
Yeah.
Well, John, I can see up here on my right. To you guys, I guess it's probably flipped. John's sitting there. He's in front of a microphone, and he's got a green screen behind him. But over there on the left, what you guys are watching on Facebook, John's sitting there, yes, but he's got the John A. McCabe Show beside him. If I pull my screen over this way, oh, there's the good-looking fellow. It's Michael Douglas. Oh, my God. What's going on here? So, John, talk to us about... I mean, I like this split screen. So is that something that's done through Zoom, or is that something that's done through your program?
So I'm using Wirecast 7.2 Pro. So everything, it's a software that you can use to stream to Facebook Live. So if you want to create, the majority of people doing Facebook Live right now are just grabbing their phone or their iPad, and they're either holding it or setting it in front of them and speaking. That's what you're doing. So there's very few. I haven't seen too many people that are doing live video to this quality of or level of production. I know Mike Koenigs does whenever he goes live. A lot of times, he's actually doing it from his studio, so he can do it at this level of production. Frank Kearns obviously has a studio, and he's doing it at this level of production. People, you know, in that sort of space. So I knew that when I wanted to actually get started, I just didn't want to be the guy holding the camera or holding the phone or holding the iPad. I wanted to actually have a very well branded, because remember, I'm coming into a new space, a new pond. I'm a small fish in a big pond, and I need to make a big name for myself, which is the main reason I named the show after myself. Is I do not have an ego, but it's all about branding because I want people to know who I am.
He's got an ego. Don't you forget it.
So yeah, so I use Wirecast 7.2 Pro, and I have a video camera, and that connects through a Ultra Studio Mini recorder, which connects into my MacBook Pro, and then it streams through Wirecast. So I can actually, then I can bring in other shots, like I'm bringing in images from other computers. I have multiple computers around me, and I have Zoom flowing. So that's, you and I are through Zoom, so I'm just bringing in the Zoom screen. That's how people are seeing you. And then they see me through my video camera, but behind me I actually have a green screen.
Yeah.
But so I use the chroma key feature to put my show logo behind me.
In Mac or in Webcast?
In Wirecast.
Oh, Wirecast, sorry.
And then I overlaid the Authority Accelerator Coach over top of that, so it's completely branded, and I do all of that in Wirecast. So it's really like producing a show. It really is like producing a show. It's not easy, and for those who aren't techie, it's probably not something you want to venture into lightly, because it's not it does take some work and some practice. And you go back to my first shows, I did like a 45, there was an hour show, and I think 45 minutes of one of the shows you couldn't even hear my guest when she was talking. I could hear her. No, it wasn't you. It was Tori Kitagawa, but you couldn't even hear her. Like, I heard her through Wirecast, but I didn't have the audio from the Skype going through the feed. I just had the video going through the feed. So, I mean, it can be complicated at times.
Yeah.
So if you wanted, Facebook has made it so easy to do live streaming just through your phone or your iPad. But if you wanted to get into more of a branded show like this one, or sort of a higher level production, then you do need more technology, a little bit more, to be technologically inclined with the software. There's also a free software, I think it's OMD or ODM. You can download it, and whether it's Mac or PC, you can download it, and you can do some of this stuff with that free software. I think Wirecast is somewhere $700 to $900 US for the version that I'm running right now.
Right, and then does that give you? You can split back and forth from the screens on that Wirecast?
Oh yeah, I can completely change the shots. So I'm just going to quickly. Why don't I do this?
Like Mike Koenig used to do, and we used to watch him do it.
So here's what's going to happen. I'm just going to move from this shot to now we're actually in the traditional John A. McCabe studio, where I'm the host, and you're the guest in the TV screen. Awesome. So then just quick change back here, and we switch positions again. You're now the host, and I'm actually to your left.
Awesome.
And, with the
awesome. This
image.
Is good stuff. Like for a guy like me, this is like hands-on. You know what? Because I'm visual, because I'm a guy. Go figure, But I like that. I like talking about the nitty-gritty. I'm sure everyone's watches you and they think that, this is amazing. This guy's a god amongst gods, and they would love to know how to do this. Now I know
not only do they love, because there's a lot of people that want this, but they're not techie. So it's actually turned into another source of income for me, because I actually produce people's shows right from here. So I have a client in Arizona, for example. So she does a show, I produce it here. So I bring in the stream, just like Zoom, just like this. She's the one in the shot, and I make multiple shots, and it's just her. I'm just the guy behind the scenes, but I can do that here from Edmonton and for other people around North America, and create their show and produce their show, so they get that branded show without having to invest in the technology or know how to or learn how to use it, or they can just focus on delivering the content.
John, did you want to roll a couple of your past guests so we can see them and say hi? Because I know that you and I can go on and on and on, but we can get to the next segment and then we can get back into it a little bit.
Okay, so just let me
cue somebody up.
I just got to cue somebody up here. So hopefully this is a new one. If it's not, then I'll cue up a different one.
Hey John, Jimmy J's here, and on behalf of myself and the entire Meetup Marketer team, we just wanted to say congratulations for the success so far of your show, and the first half of season number 1 has been amazing, and I just wanted to again say congratulations and thank you for the work that you're doing teaching individuals and entrepreneurs and investors alike how to increase their authority and increase their success. So congratulations, and I'm looking forward to seeing future shows and the rest of season number 1 and future seasons to come. So congratulations and thanks again.
John, congratulations on the successful season of your show. You are really crushing it. I love the guests that you've had on. It is so informative and entertaining. And I especially enjoyed my time on your show. I am so looking forward to 2017 to see what you have in store for us. So again, congratulations, dude, and I will see you in 2017.
Let's get back into talking about how you're rocking and rolling on this Wirecast, how you're doing this show. I mean, everyone wants to do Facebook Live and everyone sees your show and they want to do a show like you're doing. I mean, now you've been doing this show. You've learned how to do it. You've bought the things on the Wirecast and the cameras and the big screen TVs for your monitors and stuff like that. And now you're actually making some money just selling it to other people. You're not really selling it to other people, but you're producing other people's shows, which is awesome.
Yeah, so I've actually, a couple things I've done to monetize, because the show is really about delivering value and without expectation of getting anything in return. So I just want to bring people on who are influencers, thought leaders, have something great to offer people that they could potentially take and use into their business, and really expose people to newer audiences that maybe they haven't been exposed to before. So, but during this process, there's always, well, how do you do this or how do you do that? So, one of the things I have done is put together I've got some free downloads, and then from the free downloads, there is a small course on how do you actually create a show just like this. How do you structure a show like this? So I did a video series of how you actually structure this, complete with 60 of my scripts, show scripts, complete show scripts, graphics that I've created, in Photoshop format, so they can either edit them themselves or send them to Fiverr. They also get a countdown timer. So there's that aspect of it. So if people want to know, well, how could I put this together? I did create a course for that, as well as people are reaching out to me and saying, I want to show a quality production like yours, but I don't want to invest the time and the money into learning or doing. So can I just hire you to help me out? And
that's awesome. Did you expect that?
No, it wasn't anything that I was actually going for.
That you get a side result of making money on something that you were doing that you wanted to do for yourself, and then someone actually said, "Hey, listen, can you do it for me?" And listen, I'm willing to give you some money.
So the biggest purpose of the show is one, obviously, to engage people, but two is to get my name out there, so people get to know me, like me, and trust me. Is bottom line. So in order for that to happen, I need to create content. But creating content is just one piece of the formula. That is the easy part, because that's I thought it was the least time consuming, but it ended up being quite time consuming. So if you're just going to do it's different if you're doing a 30-minute show where you have your own specific topic and you talk about it, because I can talk about a specific topic for quite a period of time, stuff right? But when you have guests on and you want to create this content that you can then distribute. So the second part of the formula, the first part of the formula is creating the content, and I use live video. The second part of the formula is actually repurposing the content. So I actually had to structure my show for ease of repurposing. So that's why we have these breaks every 7 to 8 minutes, is so that we can make a clip out of that 7 to 8 minutes. It's also so that it's a pattern interrupt for the audience,
Right.
so that their mind doesn't start to wander. We change the pattern, we go into a video, or we reintroduce the guest, or whatever it is. So I wanted to create these shows so that I can repurpose it as quickly and easily as possible. But not just the video clips. I mean, this gets transcribed. We create a couple blog articles out of this. It's going to be a video podcast, an audio podcast. There's be a series of anywhere from 6 to 10 different video clips of various lengths. There's a lot of social media graphics created. There's quotes that are created that are... So the second part is repurposing the content. Now the third part of the formula is distribution and engagement. And that's the 10x component. So for every 1 hour I spend creating this show, so if a show is 1 hour long, like this show is, I need to 10x the amount of time I spend distributing and engaging. So for every 1 hour episode I do, I need to spend 10 hours distributing the content I created and engaging with people without any expectation in return on all the different platforms I can think of. And right now, so the minimum would be 4, but I have it up to 9. So that would be Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, YouTube, and then Instagram, Snapchat, Amazon. So that would be creating books, as well as iTunes. That's creating podcasts. And I'm sure that there's more that I missed in there.
How do you do the video cast? You put it on iTunes video?
Well, I haven't launched that yet. So the plan was to actually do it at the same time, but for me it just wasn't, even though I'm having my outsourcers repurpose the content for me, just the time to distribute and engage, and I can, once the podcast is set up, I can get them to upload it, but I actually have to set up the podcast first.
Right, but the great thing about what you got is you have all this content. You've done 67 shows. I mean, that is so much content in such a short period of time. You can do so much with that. I mean, you're going to be busy.
Yeah, so that's my next 3 months, is taking all of this repurposed content that my outsourcers have been busy putting together for me, and then so I will actually create the podcast channel, the video podcast and the audio podcast channel. So then I can start uploading the episodes, once a week, or maybe twice a week. Because I'm going to have so much content, I could probably do twice a week. And then that's audio and video. And then as well, I start posting the blogs to the website. And then when the blogs get when the podcasts get posted, when the blogs get posted, when the video clips get posted on the website, on YouTube, on iTunes, all of that stuff, then I spend my time advising people of all the stuff that's out that I keep putting out there.
Sure. Well, a platform for someone who likes to listen to podcasts, a platform that someone likes to watch.
Instagram images based on the content.
For sure. So let me. It's my show. Hold on. I want to just stop you for a sec, because it's all brilliant. But what I want to say to people that are out there that haven't gone through the things that you and I've gone through, it's a lot to take in, right? What are you talking about? Podcasts and live casts, and then you take the transcripts and you turn it into a book, and then you put it on Amazon, and then you take a little thing and you put it on Snapchat, and then you take a 1 minute 59-second video and you put it on Instagram, and then you're doing Facebook Live with Wirecast. It's like, oh my God, I want to pull my hair out. It's actually, watch this show over and over and over again and listen to what we talk about, and you'd be very surprised that once you start, go to Google and read up on Wirecast. Go to Google and read up on Facebook Live if you don't know what's going on. I mean, we're doing it right now. Go and learn about Instagram and how long a video. Join Instagram and start putting your videos up. You can check out mine and John's Instagram. I mean, I've got, I just started a month ago and I've got 120 posts on there. Very important. Some people are on Instagram, some people are on Snapchat. Some people are on Facebook. Some people are reading books and they're on Amazon, and they're gonna. John's just making a place that you can get this content. What's the famous Mike Canning saying that you're always saying?
You everywhere now.
You everywhere now.
You everywhere now is his philosophy, and it's get seen, get heard, get noticed, anywhere, anytime, on any device.
I remember when I was at that. I was in San Diego 2 years ago, and he talked about that. It was very overwhelming at the time. So it's something that now it's very easy for me to understand, and it's very easy for you to understand. But that was for all you people out there that don't. It's actually very, very brilliant what he's doing. It's just how it's gone these days. You can't just be on one platform.
So to finish the formula, the last component of the formula is 100 days. So how the formula actually reads is the rate at which you accelerate your authority is equal to the number of hours you create live video. So if the minimum being one, so at least one live video,
1 hour,
1 hour of live video per week, plus repurposed content times the number of platforms you're going to use. So whether you're going to use 4 platforms as the minimum, or you're going to go to all 9 platforms. So this is the number of repurposing content for those platforms, plus 10 times the number of hours of live video per week. So if you're using 1 hour of live video per week, then you need to do 10 hours of distribution and engagement per week. So I'm doing 5 hours per week. I need to be doing 50 hours of distribution and engagement per week. And that's where I sort of fell down, because I was doing too much live video. I didn't have the extra time to do that 50 hours a week, which is why I'm taking the next 3 months to do my distribution and engagement. And then the other component is you need to do that for 100 days consecutively. So that's 1 hour of live video a week, spending 10 hours distributing and engaging the repurposed content on at least 4 social platforms, and you do that continuously for 100 days, which means that you'll have 14 to 15 hours of content. You'll spend 150 hours of distribution and engagement during that 100 days. In that time frame, any person that does this is guaranteed to accelerate their authority in that 100 days. You may not be at the level you want to be, but you're going to be much higher than you are today and doing anything else that you would be doing in the next 100 days, because most people just try to create content, but it's that distribution and engagement, that's where all the traction comes from. The repurposing of the content and the distribution and engagement. Everyone has it flipped around. They're doing 10 hours of content and 1 hour of distribution and engagement. So, I haven't been doing the distribution and engagement I need to do, but my audience is still growing, but not at the rate that I wanted it to grow, just because I wasn't investing.
You're 10xing. You're 10xing. So the next 3 months, you're going to really, in 3 months now, when you start the show over again, you should be already up at a certain point. And then what will you do? Do the show for another 3 months and then take 3 months off? Or are you going to have a team in place implementing that as you go?
Well, I have a team in place right now, but they haven't been implemented, or they're repurposing it, but the distribution and engagement, I haven't set up the process for distribution and engagement, which means I haven't created my iTunes podcast or video podcast channels yet. Right. So I don't have that process in place. So for the next 100 days, I'm going to create the process. I have my outsourcers doing the distribution or the repurposing, but then once I have that process in place, then the next 100 days when I start to show up for the second half of the season, there's going to be a very specific path for them to follow. It's like, okay, as soon as the transcription comes in, this happens, and then once you have it, you need to post it here, 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 and here, and then I just spend my time getting ready for the show, doing the show, and then after the show is done, I need to spend my time on the engagement part, because they are doing all the distribution for me. Right.
That's cool. So can you talk about your outsourcing? How many people do you have? 1, 2?
So I have two full-timers, so I pay them a monthly wage.
Nice.
In the Philippines. I've had
is it outsourced to what's his name's company in the Philippines?
Nobby doesn't have that company anymore.
Not Nobby. What's the other guy?
I don't know.
Well, who are you with in the Philippines?
I have my own. Long time ago, I went through a company called 123 Employee.
Okay, yeah.
And the guy that I ended up with, I ended up stealing him from them.
Oh, nice.
So he works for me. It cost me less than half the money, and he makes a lot more money. So he's getting probably.
He doesn't have to pay the firm or whatever.
Yeah, he's paying. Yeah, they would just pay him a wage, right?
Right.
So he works for me, and he's getting probably 2.5 to 3 times the salary. And so
you pay him on a monthly salary?
I pay him on a monthly salary.
That's wonderful. So you're actually really giving him a good life then.
Yeah, and then he brought on somebody else for me. So those two are full time. I have a contractor who in South Africa that does my transcripts. So I just send her the YouTube links, and then she does the transcripting.
Oh, that's awesome.
And then once I get
those are worth some money. You could sell your contact list.
Okay, just let me finish this, and I'll tell you what ended up happening here. So then I have the outsourcer that takes the transcripts and the raw video, and then she's actually creating a couple of blog articles, creating some social media images for like Instagram and stuff, and making the show notes. So she's going through the video and making show notes, like this time they talked about this or that time, or for not only my website but my YouTube channel. So I have the outsourcers all in place to do all of this, which is actually going to be a service I offer. Say, for you example, you want to accelerate your authority, and all you want to do is sit in front of a camera. You don't want to do any of the show production, you don't want to create graphics, you don't want to do any of that stuff. So then you just hire me to actually help you over that 100-day time frame. We do 15 shows, and then I get my team to do all that work for you, and then you just basically, on the front end you're doing the show, on the back end you're doing the engagement piece, because we have it all distributed for you.
Wonderful. Now, can I be so bold as to ask and let everybody else know what kind of charge is that, John? Are you allowed to say?
No, it's a secret.
Well, you never know, right? Hey, bling bling, Johnny, how much is it?
Yeah, so that's
cash deal, man. Cash deal, cash only, cash money.
So that's a 5,000 US a month.
Nice. And then you can basically have a full production TV show, and then you get all your people to do all the distributing.
Yeah. So my client, someone like yourself, you would just be, and I help you with the show, because there's an overall strategy, because you're going to end up with 14 to 15 shows. So the idea is that during those 14 to 15 shows, each one of those shows is going to be a chapter in a book. Right. So we figure out who your ideal target market is and what it is, their pains, fears, frustration, and ambition, and what the book is going to be about, which is basically taking people on a journey so they end up want to buy from you. So from the transcripts, we're also creating books. So from the first 67 episodes of the show, I'm going to have 5 different books created.
Wonderful.
So
wonderful.
I have enough content for 5 different books. So yeah.
Wonderful. I mean, that answers all my questions. I mean, it sounds wonderful. And congratulations to all your success.
Thanks, man.
I can't wait to do it myself and steal your thunder. No, I'm just kidding.
It's all right. I tell people, I've been telling people the formula for the last 3 months.
And no one's done it.
Well, I don't know what people are doing, but
it's not that easy to do. You know what, John? What you're doing is not easy to do. People want to do it, but it's unnerving to speak live. A lot of people don't want to do it. I know that it was very hard for me even 2 years ago. Mike Cannings put me on camera, and I was like, it's and I couldn't do it. So
yeah, so I which is why I offer the
little coaching
because not everybody can afford the 5,000 US a month for 3 months, right? So I can coach people on a weekly basis to help them sort of create their show,
right?
Because once they create their show, and then teach them, okay, you need to repurpose, distribute. You go find your own outsourcers. Here's what you need to do, and here's how you need to engage with people, and just coach them through that process for the next
Cool.
You know,
Now
for
this
the
is your
3
show.
months.
This is the last show for the season. We're getting close to the cutoff point here. Is there any questions out there that anybody would like to send through? John, do you want to roll any of your past guests before we finish the show?
Yeah, I think that's how we'll end up in the show. Is I have 4 more videos of previous guests that have sent in. So we'll do that, and then I'll cut to the closing remarks. And then, so I just want to thank everybody for joining me for the last 67 episodes, the last 100 days. And we'll definitely be back. Like I said, I'm going to be taking 3 months off from doing this show, but that doesn't mean I'm not going to be doing live every day. It's just I'm not going to be doing this show every day. So I am going to be going live and documenting a lot of my own journey over the next 100 days. Still, because I need to still accelerate my authority. Even though I'm going to be doing the distribution and engagement component, I still need to keep myself out there and then advise everybody what I'm up to and what I'm doing and maybe why I'm doing it and all of that. So there will be a lot of live video coming from the Authority Accelerator Coach as opposed to the John A. McCabe Show.
Wonderful, wonderful.
But thanks, everybody, and thank you, Keith, for joining me today.
Thank you for having me. It's been a blast. It's been a learning experience, and thank you so much, John.
All right, so everyone take care, and look forward to seeing some of you in San Diego next week. And
peace.
And I'll be seeing you soon on Facebook Live again. Take care.
Hey John, I wanted to take a minute and say congratulations on the successful completion of Season 1 of your show, and thank you for offering the opportunity to be a featured guest earlier on in the season and serve your audience. I know it's a special thing and you don't want just anyone on there, so it meant a lot to me. I've been watching what you've been up to the last couple of years. I know we've been friends and over about, 2.5 years now, and it's just awesome to see you continue to grow and lead the way. So congratulations again, and looking forward to see what you got in store.
Hey, John McCabe, it's your buddy Sam Crowley. I want to congratulate you on your first season of the John McCabe Show. It is awesome. Great content, helping people from all around the world pursue their passion, monetize that passion, inspiring them. It was my pleasure to be a guest on your show in the first season. Keep rocking, brother. It's going to be amazing.
Hey, Keith, Shannon here. Just wanted to give a shout out to Mr. John McCabe. Congratulations, my brother. The John McCabe Show is a hit. First season, knocked out of the park. You're going to take a little break, I hear, and then you're back in the new year to finish up the season. I mean, amazing stuff, man. Really, really, really good stuff. Congratulations, John.
Hey everyone, I'm Michael Espy. Just doing this video, just giving a big shout out to my friend John McCabe. I just wanted to congratulate him on his John McCabe Show. I want you to know I think you've created something really special, and I was on your show a little more than a month and a half. You interviewed me. I just wanted you to know that I had a really cool experience. Been on a bunch of different podcasts now, and yours ranks right up there as one of my favorite. You were very well organized, and you did a super cool job of keeping it fun and engaging. I've checked out a couple other episodes of your shows, and you have a really cool variety of speakers and topics that people can really benefit from. So keep doing what you're doing. I know for certain when people tune in, their lives will be that much more better. So thanks again, my friend. Bye for now.
Well, thanks for joining me on today's John A. McCabe Show, where we work with entrepreneurs, business owners, authors, experts, and speakers get seen, get heard, get noticed anywhere, anytime, on any device. Now, also known as the Authority Acceleration Blueprint. Now, if you're someone who's looking to take your business to the next level and want to get some coaching advice, why not apply to be a guest on today's show? Now, for most entrepreneurs, we want to create a life of our own, create our own path, and do what we can to reach our own desired outcome, which is generally freedom. freedom to choose what we want to do, when we want to do it, and with whom we want to do it. A life that's full of options and choices, where we worry less about money and more about the quality of time that we spend with others. Now, a great way to make that happen is to leverage other people's knowledge, time, and skill sets. Step one to reaching our freedom life is to realize that you can't do it alone. Working with a coach or being involved in masterminds is a great way for entrepreneurs to move their business forward. Now, a coach can help you shorten the time frame to get you from where you are to where you want to be, while being part of a mastermind is meant to bring entrepreneurs together, all with the goal of helping each other move forward with their business. Now, the second step to creating the life you envision for yourself as an entrepreneur is to implement systems into your business so you can streamline your operations, leverage systems, and free up your time to focus on your family, having fun, and the highest leverage activities in your business. You know, the activities that get you the biggest return on your time invested, the ones that truly make you money. Now, sometimes we just don't know what systems we need, how to implement those systems, or even have the time to find out what is needed. Now, working with a coach or consultant that understands, uses, and specializes in systems that can streamline your operations can help save you time, aggravation, and make you a lot more money. Now, for example, having a system or strategy that allows you to leverage just 15 hours of your time into enough repurposed content to get you seen, get you heard, get you noticed anywhere, anytime, on any device is a great example of leverage. Now, just imagine a system where you invest just 15 hours of your time, and the end result is you're a #1 best-selling author. You have enough content that's going to get you seen, get you heard, get you noticed anywhere, anytime, on any device. You have a successful podcast. Now, it's automatically attracting more attention, giving more value, and generating more leads, which enables you to attract an abundance of paying customers. Now, this is also known as the Authority Acceleration Blueprint. Now, to find out more about the Authority Acceleration Blueprint, coaching program, or mastermind, then contact me via my website at johnamccabe.com or connect with me through my show's Facebook page. Now, again, thank you for joining us on today's show, and I look forward to seeing you on tomorrow's show when I have another great guest on discussing their business and accelerating their authority. So have yourself an amazing day, and I look forward to seeing you again real soon.